Hello and welcome to Dingoes Ate My Podcast. This week we're talking about the Buffy the Vampire Slayer episode, The Puppet Show. I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
And Justin.
This episode originally aired on May 5th, 1997, attracting 2.6 million viewers. In this episode, we get introduced to Principal Snyder, obviously the new school principal, who puts Giles in charge of a talent show and then forces the Scooby Gang to take part. They watch Morgan and the ventriloquist dummy Sid. The act takes a turn for better when Sid apparently appears to develop a personality and starts making sarcastic comments. The scene cuts to Emily, a ballet dancer, alone in the changing room. She hears something, turns and screams as a demonic voice whispers, "I will be flesh." Snyder explains to Giles that he will run a safer, more disciplined school, but is interrupted by the discovery of Emily's body, whose heart has been cut out with a knife. The Scoobies debate whether the killer is a demon or a human. The group splits up to interview people from the talent show, but find the killer. Everything seems to point to Morgan. Buffy breaks into his locker, and there she finds nothing as Morgan and Sid secretly watch her. Sid tells Morgan that Buffy is the one, saying that her strength is evidence of it. Sid breaks into Buffy's room as she sleeps, but the noise of his wooden feet wake her as she sees him, kind of. Buffy has a hard time convincing the Scoobies that Sid broke into her room. Giles suggests that the demon responsible might be needing the heart and later a brain to keep a human guise, which means the demon could be anyone. In the library, just as Willow finds references to other possible explanations, animated dummies might be harvesting organs to become humans, Sid disappears. While searching for Sid, Buffy finds Morgan's body missing the brain. A chandelier falls on her and Sid attacks, but during their fight, she realizes that Sid believes she is the demon and they are both working for the same goal, to stop said demon. Sid explains that he is a demon hunter, cursed to dummy form until he kills the last of the Brotherhood of Seven, demons who harvest a heart and brain to remain in human form. Realizing the demon has what it needs, they theorize it will be moving on. And so its form will be that of whoever is missing from the talent show. Sid tells Buffy that once they kill the demon, he will die, since his human body has long crumbled to dust and bone. Buffy, Willow, and Xander discover Morgan had brain cancer, and therefore the demon should now be looking for someone with a healthy, smart brain. Someone like Giles. At the talent show, Mark the magician tricks Giles into strapping himself into a guillotine, supposedly a magic prop. Buffy, Xander, and Willow rush to rescue Giles, and with Sid's help they kill Mark, who was the demon all along. Sid finishes the demon by driving a knife through its heart and collapses as his soul is freed from the dummy. And then we get to see a nice little moment where the Scoobies have to perform on stage as credits roll.
Yup.
Yes.
It's so good. Same parts.
Were there insults towards Cordelia in this episode?
Oh, probably.
Oh, yeah.
It could have been me. I can only dream.
Oh, yeah. Cordelia, your hair. Is something wrong with my hair?
I love that.
It works every time.
Giles is just like, Xander got that one right.
You just have to mention her hair and she just freaks out and leaves. Your hair.
I love
like a charm.
So Principal Snyder's in, he's talking to Giles at the beginning of the episode, and he's like, "We won't be having any more of this woolly-headed liberal thinking that leads to getting eaten like the previous principal." He's like, he's so mad.
Yeah, just a little bit.
So we find a knife at the crime scene, and that leads the Scoobies to think that it could be a human. It could be anyone, Willow says. It could be me. It's not, though.
No.
Oh, of course.
Okay, there's another scene. Xander's trying to talk to Cordelia. Keyword trying. And she's like, Emma was my best friend. How could this happen to me? And he's just like, Emily. It's so good. Then, Dad dare dummy be alive.
Yeah, most definitely. With that particular scene when he first sort of shows his personality on stage, everyone kind of agrees with it, but then Buffy kind of lays down the law a little bit to make sure he's not too racy.
Okay, so Buffy's like sneaking in the school to go into the locker, and she's got this leather jacket on, right?
Yes.
Okay, I have a major problem with this. One of the cuff, like the button on the cuff of one of her sleeves, is undone. The other one isn't. And it was so annoying. I was like, fix it!
No. No.
Your fascination with her fashion.
There
There were worse fashion choices in this
No, there were.
series. Yes.
Dude.
Oh, in the series, yes, but not in this episode.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the leopard print dress, but we'll move past that. Buffy, okay, so she's in her room and she's going to bed and she turns out the light, and it's equally as bright in her room the minute she turns the light off. It's like, what?
Yeah.
That, guys, you done fucked up. And then we see Sid's face on the window and he's all like, spooky.
Oh no, he's scary. He's gonna get her.
Yeah, and Xander manages to teach Giles how to get rid of Cordelia at any time.
Yeah.
Just mention that her hair might be out of place.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so good.
And I think with most of the episodes, I don't exactly catch on to just about everything. So it was nice to sort of see the point where it didn't exactly point to... It mostly pointed to sort of Sid being there, but it still left the other option being open until it really revealed everything. And just on the whole, everything foundationally within the episode was very good for what they did. Also, Sid being a bit of a womanizer, I was just like, oh wow, they're going this way with him, okay.
Yeah, okay, so they really try to set up Principal Snyder as a suspect for being the demon. Like, they really are pushing that in this episode. Like, they're really trying to make you think that. And I'm like, well, I know he isn't.
I didn't really think that way with him at all, actually.
No. But they, like, really are pushing it. Like, every time, like, Buffy's doing something, he sneaks up behind her.
He might be a gigantic douche, but I mean...
I mostly sort of took that as he's the principal and he sees something suspicious, so he goes
But there
after
are
it.
scenes where he comes across as creepy.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, like, they're trying to set him up that way.
Maybe not for this episode specifically, for whatever's going on, but maybe something else will come up. I don't know. I'm assuming that's what the case is with him.
So, Buffy gets pinned under the chandelier and somehow can't lift it. She's the frickin' Slayer.
Yeah.
We've seen her, like, throw people across the gym.
She could probably throw billiard tables. I don't know.
She's, like, literally pushed a pool table across a room with ease.
Curses! The Slayer's one weakness. Chandeliers!
Yeah.
Buffy ends up getting in a fight with Sid, and then they're both, like, trying to, like, so, like, he's like, oh, I'm not gonna let you kill somebody else. So they're going back and forth, and eventually, like, wait a minute, what?
That was the interesting moment for you. It's like, wait, he's not actually the demon sort of person? And then he turned out to be a demon hunter, and then I'm like, okay, this is how the story is going, I guess.
Oh, I love when they're like, oh, so the demon needs a new, intelligent, healthy brain. And they're like, we have to protect Willow. And she's like, why? Xander just looks at her and he's like, what's the square root of 849? 29. That's why.
That's why.
Except it's not.
Yeah.
Technically 29 is part of the answer, but it's not the entire answer.
It's missing the point.
It's like 29.1760 something.
It's part of the script. Need to move on.
But I was like, God damn it.
We need room at the end for, that amazing scene.
Oh, that's just perfection.
Yes.
So Giles almost gets his brains taken out.
Yeah, with the guillotine.
Yeah, he was tricked into getting into a guillotine.
Xander's actually useful in this episode, though.
He holds it up.
Yes, he does.
He does actually save Giles' life.
He had some pretty good reflexes to grab the rope.
As much as that probably pisses Giles off on some level.
Yeah. But it was interesting to sort of see that they gave hints to the demon being the person that he was faking to be.
Yeah.
Sort of after the episode was over, it's like, oh wait, that does make sense.
Well,
darn it, Buffy, you're still a decent episode by showing all the points but not making it obvious.
Well, and like they kept showing him on screen, so it's like he's obviously important. Like if this was just for a joke, you'd do it maybe twice. But the fact that he keeps coming back on screen, it's like, okay, that guy's going to be important. We don't know why, but we know that there's probably something more there. So they end up slaying the demon, and Sid allegedly is allowed to rest now.
It's like, girl, I've been alive for dozens of years. Oh, and his discussion with Buffy up in the rafters, just sitting up there, it's like, so what's your deal with hunting demons? Oh, I'm the Slayer. You're the Slayer? Oh, I ran into one of the Slayers once.
Some Korean chick.
Super muscular.
Oh, Sid is... The fun thing is, Sid pops up in one of the video games.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Hey then.
He does have another appearance. Now, the video game isn't necessarily canonical, but...
I assume not.
The curtain goes up and the demon body is just kind of laying there.
Like, so what do we do from here, really?
And then, I love, because it cuts to Principal Snyder and he's like, I don't get it. Is it avant-garde?
No, that was definitely great. It's like, I don't know how they can make it as better. And then they do the end scene into the credits. I was like, oh.
They perform a scene from Oedipus Rex. And I use the term perform loosely.
Yeah.
They do something interesting. I guess they forced them not to memorize any lines or anything.
Oh, man.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if there was a producer or like a PA off stage just holding up cue cards that they had to read off of.
And then just not give anything for Willow.
That's actually an ad-lib where she just runs off stage. That was just something that, like, I guess Allison Hannigan thought would be funny, so she just did it. And you can actually hear in the background some of the crew just laugh. Because it just, like, legitimately just happened.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and Xander's struggle face. Like, trying to remember line.
It's so good. Also, another improv in the episode is where Xander has Sid.
Yeah,
He's got a little puppet, and he's like, rah, 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 rah. And then he like grabs the puppet and he's shaking it, and he's like, red rum, red rum. That's just a thing he did in the episode for some reason, like when they were shooting. So yeah, that is the puppet show, more or less. Did you have anything else you wanted to add, Dave?
No, I think on the whole it turned out pretty good.
Justin?
It's a fun episode.
It was kind of a fun episode. So for music in this episode, other than the original score, Cordelia does attempt to sing a Whitney Houston song called Greatest Love of All.
And then she was kind of cut off by Giles.
Yeah.
Giles immediately is like, oh fuck.
Just so that he could hear that horn. Which horn was that?
Oh,
was it tuba or something?
Probably a tuba.
It was a tuba.
Yeah.
Oh, it's too good.
The tuba is better sounding than Cordelia.
Well, most things are. So, international titles. So, some of them are kind of boring. They're just like the puppet or like their ventriloquist or something like whatever. Finnish translates back into English as puppet in chains. I don't know what that means.
Like, aside from the vague chains that were somewhat on the chandelier, I really don't really see that.
It could be metaphorical chains. I don't know.
No, yeah.
Oh, I suppose. Chain to puppet body with that sort of thing.
I guess.
Loosely.
But German wins yet again. Because the German title, if you translate it back to English, translates as Buffy Lets the Puppets Dance. I don't know why.
There really wasn't that much of a dance.
There's no dancing.
Was it just for the case of the puppet running around with the wooden feet in those couple of scenes?
I don't know. I didn't come up with the title. I just... Why? Why?
The only other thing is the vague translation of a dance term meaning a tussle. So it would supposedly make sense that she fought a puppet person, but That's the puppet's dance seems
That's
a little
very
silly.
loose even then. It's just...
Yeah, it doesn't
Yes.
make a whole lot
No,
of
it
sense.
doesn't
It's
make any
just
sense.
silly.
Oh, okay, so the scene that goes over the end credits, which is really, really funny, was actually, on the original episode, it was done split screen with, like, ads at the bottom.
Okay.
So it was, like, super tiny, and I guess you couldn't hear anything, because they were playing the ads. And they cut it out of any repeats on the WB network.
Aw.
That's
But it was
silly.
put, obviously, into the DVD and in current reruns.
Yeah.
So,
That is silly.
who was your favorite character in this episode? Justin.
I'd say Giles.
Giles. Giles is pretty on point this time.
He was bright and for the most part until the very end, where he wasn't very bright.
Giles was having a hell of a time with this whole fucking talent show thing. Dave?
I think out of everyone, despite me having some concerns about his personality, I honestly have to say that it was Sid. Just all the stuff that he sort of did, it was a little, still his personality with everything, but just learning a little bit about him and sort of getting an idea that he supposedly had a chance to rest with all the stuff that went on from there. He was a good one-off character.
Yeah, Sid is kind of cool. For me, I don't know, this one's kind of difficult. On one hand, Giles is just having such a horrible time and being so British about it that I can't help but love that. But, hard to pick. I'm probably going to say Xander just because of his interactions with Cordelia. And how he just has no time for Cordelia's shit. And it's really funny. Alrighty, so what did you guys want to give this episode for a rating? Why don't we start with David?
I could somewhat understand, in my own head, this is definitely a good episode, but I think on whole, I'd probably have to stick this around in the 6.5. It's nothing amazing or great, but it's definitely funny for all the particular stuff that it does.
Alrighty, Justin?
I give it about an 8.
About an 8? Okay. I'm closer to what David is thinking. I'm probably about like a 7.
Okay.
It's alright. It's funny in parts, but the series is going to get so much better.
I imagine that. I mean, I can't really rank things based on things I haven't really seen
of
too
course.
much of.
Meh.
So, I mean, I rank it based on, like, how I'm viewing it for now. I don't want to rank every episode in the future 10 out of 10 out of 10 out of 10 out of 10.
Well, you might hit a roll where you're giving out a lot of 10s, though. Because there's a
Maybe.
stretch there that's really good.
Maybe, but...
Alrighty, so... Oh, you had something else to add?
No, not really.
Okay. So, every so often, I'm going to give you the opportunity to ask me a question about what's going to happen in the series. So, this is one of those times. You each get one question.
Couldn't think of a question right now.
Okay? Dave?
Are chandeliers going to continue being a problem throughout the series?
No. I don't think so. Not particularly, no. Justin, you don't have anything?
Will we see more puppets within the Buffy series, not the spin-off series?
Off the top of my head, I can't think of another episode dedicated solely to a puppet storyline.
Okay.
There is one in Angel, but that's not this show.
I know.
Um,
That's why I mentioned specifically Buffy.
yeah, I don't think so. I don't think there's another dedicated episode like this for it.
Okay.
You might have something pop up or something, but not like a full episode. Alrighty, so next week we will be talking about the episode Nightmares. In that episode, the residents of Sunnydale are in a dilemma when their nightmares start to come to life. Alrighty, I think that's going to be about it. If neither of you have anything to add...
That's it.
Alrighty, that's going to be it for this week. I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
And Justin.
No